All right, everyone, pull out the Sunday morning protocol right here. By the way, I lost my voice last night. I had no voice this morning. And I have 4 small children. And I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning every single day. And I am here every single week. So you can come to me with your excuse, and you'll leave with me saying, God bless you, I'll pray for you. But in the back of my mind, I'm saying, that doesn't hold up to mine. All right? So this is the thing about commitment that she's talking about. And God told me this a few weeks ago. He says, I never present the provision or give the provision before the commitment. The only choice is yes or no. That's the only thing he's asking you to think of. So when he presents you with the call, it's simply yes or no. And then the moment you say, if you do say yes, you commit to it, then the first step you take, that's when the provision comes. And the provision is money and time and emotional strength and your family resources and all that's all provision, but it doesn't come until you make the decision to commit and to step forward. Okay? Because what happens is we're presented with a decision from God, and we start going, oh, but I don't have enough time, and I don't have enough energy, and I don't have enough money, and my wife said this about this, and my kids, right? But we're looking at that from our experience in the past. And then we start to make a decision in the future off of what happened in the past. Will your answer ever be yes?
The waters were not parted until the priests put their foot into the water. They put it right there, and everything changed.
At that moment, they went forward. Mm-hmm. So the commitment is not just tonight, and it's not just the moment you put the pen on the paper. The commitment is every single week. It's the decision, are you going to show up here tonight? Because I could have very easily texted. I could have very easily texted Dee Dee and Dorothy. I could have said, I'm not feeling well. And it would have been a text. I wouldn't have to hear the disappointment in their voice. Right? And I just text a little thing, I'm sick, I can't come. Right? But I told myself, I said, no, I'm going to go. Because every single time I come here, I'm blessed. And guess what? It's because of all you, I'm tied to that commitment. And I'm so blessed by it. I love the fact that I have to show up because of everyone. I mean, it's for God, obviously. But you will be disappointed, right? Okay? Yes, and you can pray for my voice. So, Sunday morning protocol. We as humans thrive off of routine. It is a part, we have to recognize this about ourselves as humans. It is very healthy to establish routine and predictability. It structures the brain. When somebody has gone through trauma, one of the first things you do is you establish routine in their life so they get back on track, okay? So that's how we operate as humans. Routine is different than getting stuck in a rut, okay? Routine is healthy because it establishes predictability in our brains. And when something is predictable, then we perceive that as safe, okay? And then once we feel safety, then we feel freedom, okay? So routine eventually will turn into freedom, okay? That is the purpose of the protocol here. So the warm-up and the sound check and the rehearsal time at the beginning of Sunday morning is critical to the success of the rest of the day. The Holy Spirit obviously is the most important, but that hour that we spend is so important. So this right here is an introduction. Or more appropriately, it's a reintroduction because we actually had this protocol a few years ago and we got sidetracked and we kind of fell away. But we are reintroducing it, and we have refreshed it, and we have reinvigorated it, and it is re-energized, and we're going to follow this. It is resurrected. That's right. Very appropriate. So this is a timeline of that hour. Okay? You'll see that different people show up at different times. That time that you start, that is your start time. That's not your arrival time. That is your I'm set to go time. So if you show up at 8:50, if you're supposed to be here on the protocol at 8:15 and you show here, you walk through the doors at 8:15, you are late. Okay? So that means all your music pulled, all settled, and this is for me too, because I got that computer to get set up and all that stuff. So this is I'm saying this for myself too. Okay? So that first half an hour is designed for sound checks and warm-ups. All right? And it starts with this. 8 o'clock to 8:15 are going to be all the instrumentalists: drums, percussion, brass, guitar lead, guitar acoustic. Okay? It goes in that order. Bass. Did I say bass? Oh, I said brass. Sorry. Yes, bass. Excuse me, because it's down lower. All right? So that's the sound check, okay? So Dee Dee should not have to come in here and say, okay, who's gonna do the sound check now, okay? Yeah. So Rob and that particular instrumentalist, you guys can be talking to each other and you can just start to play, okay? One after another. 8:15, 8:20 is going to be the rest of the instruments. So that at 8:20, the vocalists, all the vocalists in the choir are up on that stage at 8:20, ready to go. Okay? We'll do the warm-up. Well, part of the reason why I created that pre-designed warm-up is so that everyone knows when it starts playing on the overhead speakers, you just start to rehearse. You just start to warm up. All right? That's your cue. No one should have to tell you, just know that's what you got to do. So that the moment it's done, then we start doing the individual mic checks after that. All right? Right down the line, women to men. Okay? So that when we're done at 8:30. Because from 8:30 to 9 o'clock, and we have to do from 8:30 to 9 o'clock because now we have, especially on the third Sunday, we have the prayer time starting at 9 o'clock. So we have to have all our rehearsing done. And it's possible. A half an hour is a long time. But that half an hour is not for the whole song list. It's to strengthen up the week. I got it right here. Introduce any new songs. Sometimes that happens. Strengthen any songs, parts within the songs. And then to solidify the song order, because sometimes the song order gets off in between the rehearsal and that Sunday. Okay? It's going to require focus. Okay? So we cannot come in here and start to socialize about the week. Okay? That's one of the things that I'm going to get on, especially with the band, is I do not want talking. I don't want any noise up there. It should be silent. You should come in here and just step into your part and get it done, and then lay quiet until the rest of the instruments and the other vocalists are done. Okay? Socializing is afterward or downstairs. Period. Okay? It requires focus. You have to be intentional with this. Okay? Does that make sense? The reason why we're doing this is not to lay out a bunch of rules so they can follow them. Okay? The reason is because we are a spontaneous house. We have made the choice that we're going to be free in our worship. But free does not mean that you're detached from order and protocol. They are one and the same. You establish the order and a protocol and a routine so that when something spontaneous and out of character comes, you can handle it. It's not going to throw everything off. Many people don't know this, but I used to work at a theater called the Heritage Square Music Hall. I don't know if you know that place or had gone down there, but they were spontaneous with their acting. They would go off script all the time, and they would break character and go out in the audience, and it was clean, happy, fun entertainment. And it scared all the other actors because they didn't know what to do. They were so, on their script, right? Even though we would go off script, we had to learn the script first. And we had to get really good at the words. Because if you got off script, eventually you have to get back on script. Okay? So even though it seemed like it was spontaneous, which it was, and there were some very fun moments there, it was actually very prescribed. Does that make sense? So they weren't separated. They were one and the same. This is so that when we show up, it's predictable and safe, so if we're having a bad day, we can always go back. We can back up. We can go back to our predictable space, and we know what to fall back on. Does that make sense? Okay. Yes, Michael.
I was thinking too, order. God's a God of order. God's a God of order, and I see this as simply the very basic foundational structure. And without this, we don't have the synergism, the one sound synergism that we're looking for, that harmony that's like more than the sum of its parts. And I was also thinking too that the less we fiddle, the less distraction there is for others.
Exactly. I want to say something because it's heavy on my heart for some reason, but the music. By the final rehearsal, before we actually sing the song, you should have the music ready to go. You should not, on Sunday, need to make copies. Okay? Sandy sends out the music on Wednesday or Thursday, and this is my routine. She sends it out Wednesday or Thursday, so that night, I'm going in my book to see, do I have it? Because if I don't have it, the next day, I'm emailing her saying I don't have a copy so that she can send me a new copy. Because sometimes it happens. I mean, we lose our music, whatever. Sometimes it happens. But so she's sending it to me because she may not be in the office on Friday. So I'm not do not email her on Friday or Saturday. She does not work. Set up your routine so that you're doing your stuff earlier in the week. Okay? Or even better, get your music on the Monday rehearsal and put it in your book. And look, this is my book. I actually have a big, huge book at home, but I have a smaller book because I can't carry that thing around anymore. And look, I have them in sheet protectors. Right? So I pull them all out. So I just pull the individual sheets out. And I have the same copy. It does.
I say that doesn't work for scientists because you never know what song is going to come out and you have to have it, the notes, right? Yeah, so, I left my book at home.
Yes, and if we have 5 songs, if we get to 2 of them, it's a good Sunday.
What we're talking about is honor and respect. It's honoring each other and respecting so that Sandy's not running around, Lindsay's not running around, and Pastor David has been running around for some people to get copies at the last minute when he's supposed to be praying in the front. So it's pulling people away from their office to actually do, and so we're disrespecting each other and not honoring one another. And that goes for lateness and all of it. It causes stress. And I choose not to get into stress. I have to make myself not to, because when certain people don't come in or whatever, and it affects the whole band or the vocal and all of it, it causes undue stress on everyone. So this eliminates that. And it gets us to prayer quicker. So we can spend time praying and not rehearsing.
I have a suggestion that might help that, as well as Sandy, and especially myself, because I don't play keyboard even every month. Sometimes it's every couple months. And, the music has been sent out like months in advance to the current team, and they don't send the written music out that week because it's assumed that everybody has it. If we had a PDF catalog on the cloud that you could just download any time you wanted to, and if you lose your music, it's always there and then there's no more. There is?
We actually have one.
I've never heard of that.
It's on OneNote.
Is it current?
Mm-hmm.
All the
it's growing.
correct chords and everything? Okay.
It's growing. It's a work in progress.
Okay, I don't. Yeah,
So I'm glad you brought that up.
So will you tell us how to do that?
Okay, so I've learned some things about OneNote. It's not as I've been working with Sandy. I came in one day on a day off, and I sat down with her for like 4 hours. And there's 2 sides of it. There's a personal OneNote and there's a business OneNote. So I've been trying to get it on the business OneNote because there's one here at the church. But if you're on a home account, which is what we all have, and there's a business account, they don't talk to each other. Part of it is because of a security thing, as I've learned. So OneNote is, Microsoft has the cloud, right? Which is just another computer, right? But it's like a server, okay? And Microsoft, if you sign up with Microsoft, you get a certain amount of memory for free, right? And with that, when you do that, you get all the programs. You get Word and Excel and all those, the calendar, the email, right? One of the programs is called OneNote. And OneNote is an online notebook. So you got a notebook that's got tabs and pages and stuff like that. It's like that, but it's electronic. So within those pages of that notebook, you can put words, music, links, PDFs, pictures, everything that you would do on a computer, you can consolidate it into this little notebook. So my wife and I have been using it for years, and we have our family stuff on there. We have adoption, we've got travel, we've got personal finances, we have tabs for all these sections of our life, and we just throw stuff in there. And we've shared it between the two of us. So we both have it. And it's that this program is you can do on several devices. You can do it on your computer, your iPad, your phone, and it, what do you call it? Ties it together. So if you do on one device, it goes to the other device. Syncs across devices, right? Okay? And it's beautiful because if she's doing something over there in her work, I see it, get a notification on my phone, right? So I just created one for worship one day because I had all this stuff in some ideas and all this stuff. And I'm like, this would be really cool to have our PDF songs on there. So I just started throwing it up in there. And all of a sudden I said, why don't we just share this with our whole group? So it's been a work in progress. So actually all these trainings we do, I've been throwing the recordings in there. So we've got, and on top of that, all the emails that Sandy sends out with the song list, I've been creating calendar events. So if you go into OneNote, whenever she sends me something, I just throw up into OneNote. So for each of the Sunday, even if it's not my Sunday, I will put a Sunday tab on there with all the songs and all the video links. It's OneNote. You're not going to have access to business because you're not a part of a business that has OneNote. So you're just going to be doing OneNote Personal or OneNote Home, I think is what it's called. You just need to go to Microsoft. Yes, both Mac and PC. They're compatible.
So you can get just OneNote. It's easy and it's
Yeah. Yes, it's free. It's free to a certain gigabyte or whatever, and it actually it's my notebook, and so it would cost me more if I wanted to upload stuff. But it's because of the cloud. But it's free for you guys. Okay. So my intention was to take the notebook that we create and transfer it to Gateway somehow, but it's not compatible. So this is the most effective way to get a bunch of information out to everyone at the same time is this right now. It might change, but for now, it's been a pretty cool little vehicle to get information out there. So you guys have access to all these things. Now, you don't have to. You'll still get emails. You'll still get the information. You'll still get copies up here. So you don't have to. But it is available. So I am creating a tab with a song library. It includes the PDF copy. It includes the video link. And if you're like, I forgot my music, you could pull up your little device and you could be looking at your chords on your device. It's got it there. And on top of that, if there's any changes that are made to the music on the rehearsal, I just take it home, scan it, and throw it up onto OneNote, and everyone has the same, the most current version. Which has been one of the biggest things is what version are we using? Well, we got to create a brand new notebook. Not anymore. You can maintain your own notebook. And it'll save trees. And it'll be easier. So whatever the pages we're creating up there, Sandy can then take it and then email it out to everyone. All right? So you don't have to have it, but it makes your life a lot easier if you do have it. Yes. Yes, if you go to Microsoft, if you go on to YouTube, you can Google OneNote and you can learn everything about it. Set it up. Go on there and have fun. You can see how it operates and how it works. You can create your own for your family. I fully believe it. We started using it at our hospital. We got the upgrade last summer, and I'm one of the first ones to start using it, and everyone's now coming to me to set up their teams, and I'm like, whoa, holy cow. And our church has it. I sat down with Sandy, and she was enlightened. I think we're
3 hours later.
yeah.
She'll enlighten the rest of us.
Yes. So, yes. So what you need, your job is, if you're not already on it, what you need to do, number one, is to go to Microsoft and sign up and create an account. It's very simple. And then once you have your account set up, then you need to email me your email address, and then I will shoot you a link. I'll give you permission to share the notebook. I'll shoot you a link on it. And then at that point, you'll download the link, and you'll be able to open it up. Email. It'll be an email link. Yes, ma'am.
Pastor Brooke is also implementing right now. Him and Terry are working on getting us a monitor that will be probably up there to where when we're in choir or worship team, we will have the words. And Terry said that they've got a program to where you can actually see the notes. In other words, chorus, verse, that kind of stuff. So that will be so that we don't have to be looking down like this at our music. We can actually be looking up and eliminate a lot of that too.
That's good. So
Well-
if you are not computer inclined,
It'll be
which I
up
told-
there.
Sorry.
They were asking where it's going to be up there because back here we don't think we could see it. Well, we're seeing. Right.
So if you're having trouble with it or you don't understand what I'm saying, that's okay. You don't have to do anything. Or if you have a laptop, you want to bring your laptop in, I would be happy to set it up with you. I can help you set it up on your devices. If you know of somebody who's on it and you can team up with somebody, that would be, yes, you could put it on a tablet. It looks beautiful on tablet. I love the tablet. Well, good, thank you. Yeah, all the training videos, all the recordings are on there. Any of the material that we have in our worship intensives, I put in there. If you're new and you want to just learn more, I mean, at some point we're going to have to ask you to go and review some of the material so you get kind of caught up. Yeah. Yeah. So the videos are embedded in the page, so you don't have to exit the program, is what you're saying. It's right there, so you're reading the music while you're looking at the video. So I mean, the technology is just really, really cool, and it really is super simple. Sometimes it's been hard to set up at sometimes, so but once you work through that, it's easy. All right, does that make sense? Got the protocol? I'm going to put that protocol. I want to tape it up on the windows, not obnoxiously, Lisa. So live streamers won't know it. But yeah, so the first few rehearsals as we go through it, it might feel a little ka-chunky and may not, but we're going to stick to it, right? And we're going to muscle through it until we get into our bodies and go. Yep, just like a budget. That's right. Yep. That's yeah. You have a budget, right? You have a plan. Doesn't mean you can't go off of it every once in a while, or maybe you get a bonus every once in a while. Readjust. Yeah, that's right. The bonuses are coming.